What is it?
Hello, welcome to The Essential Gamer. You're watching What Is It with me, Lee, and what it is Gutwhale. Gutwhale. Doesn't really matter how you say it, it all comes down to being the same thing, which is a pixel adventure, an indie game. Yes, it's a Ratalaika Games release, and it's different. I got Downwell vibes. I'll say that straight away. So you are a little dog guy who is trapped in the belly of a whale, and you're in there with lots of other stuff, and you're trying to escape. No story, zero story, no sense. There's Volkswagen buses that fall on your head and all sorts of stuff. So essentially, the gameplay loop is you going through 3 or 4 different levels per stage. There's 3 stages which increase in difficulty, and there's all the sort of things that you get from these sort of roguelites where you can add things to your character. So you can buy different hats and different add-ons, so give yourself an extra life, an extra bullet. There's a good mechanic of balancing the death to bullet ratio. You get 1 bullet and you have to catch the bullet after you've hit something with it to continue your combo, which builds your score up so that you can spend your money at the end of the level should you complete it and not have the bus land on your head. But you will have the bus land on your head because it's very, very hard. It's sort of close quarters frenetic platforming, and it's just death after death after goddamn death. But eventually you'll get to grips with it. So it's precision platforming with shooting, but it's more than just your average sort of run and gun, or even like Downwell. I'm going to use as my main sort of inspirado for this one, because where Downwell you can sort of just spam. You can spam or fall past all of the enemies. You have to really think. Now it is procedurally generated as you go, so none of the levels are ever the same, but it's got a certain je ne sais quoi about its procedural generation. So you're always going to get the same baddies or same selection of baddies in the first one. You just don't know what order. And then the second level you have another selection of baddies, but you don't know what order. And then the third one, again, same baddies, but you don't know what order. And as you start to get used to the different enemy types and the different add-ons that you can find, buy or use, you'll try to die less, ideally. I mean, you still die. But there is a little bit more to Gutwhale than what is on the surface. You can unlock different things, so you can certainly switch up levels. There's the frog hat, and many other hats, in fact, which change the way that the game plays for your little dog guy. Doesn't necessarily make it any easier, you still have to get used to it, but it certainly switches up the sort of core loops. And there's lots of other stuff as well that they've added in there. There's this weird bulge mode that you can put on as well, which screws with the screen. I don't know whether it makes it any more, simplistic for other people, but it didn't for me. But I will say that it's not a very long game. Although there are some things to discover and things to find, I managed to complete the whole thing beginning to end. I got the sort of ending and the actual ending in a morning. It took me 2 hours and it was done. I've done everything there is in the game. Well, that I'm aware of anyway. There could be other stuff. Who knows? I don't. I still don't even really know what's happening. It's different. It's a pixel shooter with a difference. If you want to spend half hour on something, it could be for you. If you want something with a little bit more story, no. So Gutwhale is a very interesting indie release. It's like I say, it takes from these sort of Downwell pool of gaming, and it adds its own twist. The combo juggling, where you have to continuously catch the bullet before it hits the ground to keep the combo, to keep your points up, is a nice little loop. And the variation in the enemies and stuff like that really does actually screw with you quite a bit. I enjoyed it, I did like it, but I found it to be too short for me to really feel like I'd accomplished anything. By the time I sort of just got to grips with the enemies and just got to grips with what I was supposed to do, it was over. Not to say that's a bad thing, but I feel like they could have gone on for maybe another level or 2 just to really push out the challenge of the game. Otherwise, fairly enjoyable. Might be up your street. As always, if this video has been any use to you whatsoever, please do like and subscribe. If it wasn't, tell me, and I'll throw myself into a whale, and I'll get the whale to float about in the sky for no apparent reason, and that will make as much sense as the story to this game did. See you later. Goodbye.